没信号都没信号啊！
一个往后面的车不准车。
It's all covered in today's China Truths.
In just an instant, the ground beneath China's cities split open, devouring cars and leaving stunned onlookers frozen in disbelief. Panic spread as sidewalks and streets caved in without the slightest warning, exposing hollow layers beneath the pavement as fragile as tissue paper. But what lies behind these sudden disasters? Could it really be chance, or is China's infamous Tofu-Dreg construction to blame? The question now haunting millions: what's really beneath China's streets? Over the past few weeks, China has witnessed a string of terrifying collapses that have shaken entire communities. Between June and July 2025 alone, massive sinkholes suddenly appeared, trapping vehicles and injuring unsuspecting victims. On June 4th, around 3:00 p.m., chaos erupted at the Shuichong intersection in Handan, Henan, when the road surface gave way without warning. 2 cars plunged into the gaping hole, and 3 people were rushed to the hospital with injuries. Authorities quickly pointed to underground pipe leaks as the culprit, claiming water erosion had weakened the foundation. Barely weeks later, on June 24th, another close brush with death struck Yuxi, Yunnan. Along Yingshan Road, a Lexus skidded dangerously close to a giant sinkhole, with its back wheel dangling on the edge of the abyss. Surveillance cameras captured the heart-stopping moment. Though the driver escaped unharmed, the vehicle was badly damaged, and the public was left horrified. Then on July 11th, disaster struck once more in Jinding County, Guizhou. The road on Hengshan suddenly caved in, swallowing a white car whole. Miraculously, no one was hurt, but the entire stretch of traffic was shut down as emergency crews scrambled to repair the collapse. Once again, officials blamed underground pipe leakage. But for locals, these repeated explanations no longer hold weight. People have seen far too many tragedies linked to fragile infrastructure, yet the same excuses keep resurfacing. It's as if the truth is being hidden in plain sight. The darkest example of this pattern remains the 2024 Guangdong Expressway collapse in Guangdong. There, a 58.7-foot section of highway crumbled during a landslide triggered by torrential rains. 23 vehicles plummeted into the void, some bursting into flames, turning rescue efforts into chaos. Nearly 2,000 square feet of roadway vanished, leaving a wasteland of twisted steel and burning wreckage. And what did officials say? State-owned media SCMP reported that the cause of the landslide was still under investigation. Meanwhile, experts hinted at poor drainage and waterlogging after continuous rainfall. Convenient, isn't it? A neat, weather-related excuse. Rain did it. The kind of explanation that ignores the obvious. Dangerously weak construction and corruption buried deep beneath the asphalt. A 25 study by Professor Wenping Xu reveals a harsh truth. Guangdong's frantic race toward urbanization valued speed over safety and concrete over quality. Cities like Guangzhou and Shenzhen have ballooned at breakneck pace, yet with that growth comes fragile foundations. The region, already prone to floods, now faces even greater risk as critical infrastructure fails under pressure. One collapse alone left at least 48 people dead and 30 more injured. Lives lost not to fate, but to negligence masked as progress. Another disaster unfolded in Xian in 2024. On the morning of July 1st, the northeast corner of the West 2nd Ring Road and Tuanji Middle Road suddenly crumbled. By 10:00 a.m., a reporter from Poster News arrived near Kaoyuanmen subway station and witnessed a disturbing scene. Murky water spilling across the street, the deepest parts lapping against the curb, with a sickening stench hanging in the air. Eyewitnesses said torrents of water gushed straight out of the massive pit, flooding sidewalks and swallowing road sections. Roughly 500 meters south, traffic ground to a halt as vehicles were abandoned and pedestrians were herded into narrow, safe passageways. So what explanation did the public receive? Xian Metro quickly declared the sinkhole was triggered by an unexpected surge of water and sand during Metro Line 8 construction. Convenient, isn't it? When in doubt, blame the water. No accountability, no responsibility, just the same tired excuse. The uncomfortable truth of shoddy engineering is pushed aside because it's easier to shrug and say it was nature's fault. Elsewhere, disaster victims would flood news channels with emotional testimonies. Grief, anger, survival. But in China, silence follows every collapse. No raw voices, no televised heartbreak. Victims' stories are buried beneath official statements, and the only sound left is the government's polished narrative. Dissident Jinrui Zhang spoke out in a recent video, frustrated by the suffocating censorship. From a very young age, you are told not to speak freely. If you dare question the government, even your elders will warn you, don't say that. When you finally do speak out, fear kicks in. You know you'll face trouble. On rare occasions, a brave expert pushes against the wall of silence. Professor Tong Wenwu of Beijing Normal University dared to question the official line after the Chengdu Expressway collapse. Heavy rain was the trigger, yes, but it rains every year. Designers knew this. If we keep blaming the weather while ignoring construction flaws, no one will ever be convinced. His words cut through the noise, but little changes. The public has grown weary, numbed by countless repeats of the same tragedy. Collapses come so often that people shrug, saying, "Why make a fuss? This is normal." That is the deeper tragedy, not just the roads giving way, but the normalization of disaster itself. So what truly fuels these collapses? Why are cars and streets swallowed whole? At the root lies the cheap, substandard materials used in construction. Roads laid with low-grade cement, insufficient reinforcement, or even thin iron wires pretending to be steel. In his book, The Condition of Chinese Architecture, architect Li Hu exposed this reality. We build too fast in China. Tofu-Dreg projects are everywhere, overwhelming the good ones. He warns that beyond the spectacular collapses, there are silent failures. Leaks, cracks, and flaws that eat away at the nation's infrastructure, all born from a culture of cutting corners. Behind the cracks in China's roads lies a darker story of corruption and corner cutting. Developers and contractors often put profits first, shaving off costs by using cheaper substitutes while charging for premium materials. NPR once interviewed a student, Joe New, who revealed his uncle's experience in the industry. If the central government asks for a 10-centimeter steel bar, by the time it reaches the province, it's 8 centimeters. At the city level, it's only 5 centimeters. This happens all the time. Nobody is surprised anymore. It's a practice so common, it's practically routine. Research by scholars Xuping Xu and Pei Jianxi paints an even bleaker backdrop. China's population has already started to shrink, and the furious expansion of cities and real estate has run out of steam. Giant property firms have collapsed under debt, leaving cities buried under financial strain. When local governments scramble to meet deadlines and keep projects alive, safety is sacrificed, and fragile infrastructure is left to crumble. Adding to the crisis is a theory gaining traction online: the impact of electric vehicles. Unlike gasoline cars, EVs carry heavy battery packs that weigh them down regardless of charge. Roads never designed for such loads now face relentless stress, worsening cracks and collapses in infrastructure already weakened by cheap materials and corruption. Together, these forces create a perfect recipe for disaster. But what happens when Tofu-Dreg construction continues unchecked? The results are not just cracks in the pavement, they are cracks in people's lives. Collapses claim lives without warning, like the 2024 Meizhou-Dabu Expressway tragedy that killed 48 people. Behind every statistic lies a grieving family, devastated by the loss of loved ones in disasters that could have been prevented. These tragedies don't just destroy roads, they leave scars that never heal. The economic toll is just as severe. According to Tipaway's 2021 data, pothole-related repairs average 600 per vehicle. In China, when disasters escalate like Meizhou, the cost per repair can skyrocket to 1,000, 5,000. For the 23 cars lost in that collapse, damages alone could hit 23,000, 115,000. And yet, the financial burden is only part of the damage. The deeper cost is the erosion of public trust. Citizens are silenced, their grief buried under official narratives that explain away negligence. People suffer collectively, yet their voices are erased, leaving only silence where accountability should be. These are not isolated tragedies. They are symptoms of a system that prioritizes speed, money, and image over safety and truth. And this is just the beginning of the story of Tofu-Dreg construction. To uncover more shocking cases and the devastating consequences hidden beneath China's roads, make sure to explore the other videos on our channel. The truth is out there and it's waiting to be revealed. China's Tofu-Dreg projects are spreading across the country, from collapsing bridges and cracked highways to poorly built apartment towers that crumble soon after completion. Families live in fear, uncertain if their homes can even last the year. Sinkholes swallow cars overnight, while roads, sidewalks, schools, and even hospitals, places meant to provide safety, have instead become symbols of danger. Behind it all lies corruption, cost-cutting, and greed, leaving millions across China trapped in an environment where safety has become nothing more than an illusion. This crisis has shaken public trust and left ordinary citizens questioning whether any structure around them is truly safe. Each collapse serves as a grim reminder of the human cost behind corruption and shortcuts. Unless accountability and real reform take place, China's cities will remain ticking time bombs, waiting for the next tragedy to strike.
Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. We will keep reporting on the COVID surge in China, so don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell to get the latest videos. And thank you for tuning in.